It's, hello. I'm Jeremiah Israel, and this is the Jeremiah Report. Now, I would normally give you information and so forth and so on, but I'm gonna give you to YouTube from a brother that seems to be enlightening to the masonry information that tells you about more about the new world order. Here it goes.
Chao. Now some of y'all might be like, well, what the hell is that? Y'all may not really, know that much about it, especially if you don't speak Latin or whatever language that is. But ordo ab chao, translated, is said to mean order out of chaos. Still, you may be like, okay, and what this got to do with me? Like this song, what your man got to do with me? But anyway, you might ask what this has to do with you. Well, here's the thing. The powers that be, right? The powers that be have this idea because ordo ab chao is said to be a free Masonic mantra, and the so-called powers that be have an idea that out of the chaos and destruction of the old shall be the arrival of the new. In other words, they have a mindset to where they would like to destroy the old system or the old way of things in order to bring about a new system, a new way of life, in order to bring what they may call the new age of enlightenment, what I understand to be an occult age, what some may call age of Saturn, age of Horus. You look into all these things, and that's what some may be preparing for. And if you don't know what that new order is, you can say that it's basically a revival of the ancient Babylonian way of life, because Babylon is said to be the origin of false religion and pagan, maybe sorcery, and even dealing with demonic entities through the knowledge of dimensional gateways and portals and such. Now, I know this sounds like science fiction to some people, but I think that some of the ancient cultures had at least spiritual knowledge or spiritual understanding that we may not have in our modern day. Because make no mistake, modern technology is a marvel. I think that there may be some things we have today that perhaps they didn't have in the old days. But again, I think that in the old days they may have had some understanding, at least of the spiritual dimension and what people call metaphysics. That we may not really, or at least that most of us may not be aware of. I think that the so-called powers that be, whether you call them the elite, whether you call them the Illuminati family, bloodlines, Rothschilds, whatever you want to call them, they may be aware of certain things, how to deal with different dimensions and how to use, symbols and, different that. But that kind of knowledge they probably want to keep away from most other people. Go figure, right? So, ordo ab chao. They want to have destruction of this system. Now, this system it itself isn't that great anyway. But I think that it may be better than what they want to bring about. Notice another Masonic symbol is the phoenix. That's like the bird of fire that rises from the ashes, right? Actually, they say that the American eagle is really a Masonic phoenix, but we say it's an eagle or it looks like an eagle for convenience sake or whatever, because there's a lot of, either pagan or Masonic symbols on the dollar bill and throughout things dealing with the United States government anyway. But the reason behind the symbol of the phoenix, or how it's utilized, is just as the phoenix rises from the ashes, they say, because it's like a mythological bird or creature that I guess either dies or destroys in fire or something, but it rises up from the ashes or something along those lines. But that seems to kind of represent how they want this order, what some may call the New World Order, as seen as Novus Ordo Seclorum on the dollar bill, or New Order of the Ages, again relate back to the pagan Saturn age, or age of Horus, right? That they want to rise. They want that to rise up from the ashes of this system. And so this is why I think that there's probably going to be chaos. Order out of chaos. I think that there's going to be chaos. And I didn't want to take this long to get to the point that I'm trying to make. I want to give the background, but when you look at things like the stuff that was going on in Ferguson, Missouri, when you see they talk about racial tension and they have, tanks in the street and militarized police, with militarized weapons and things of that nature, some people are suggesting that eventually it's going to come a time where there's going to be chaos in the streets, and that the destruction of America and maybe of systems and countries across the globe, that destruction is going to allow the arrival of the new pagan age of a new society. A new society that, at least at first or by appearances, may seem to be wonderful. Now some may see through the smoke and mirrors and already know it's messed up before it even gets started, but I think that they want to destroy this, and I'm not necessarily speaking from American patriotism or anything, but I'm just saying that America was meant to be the new Atlantis, or springboard to the New World Order. However, I don't think it was meant to be a sovereign nation forever. I think that eventually even the USA is going to have to be merged into this new order, this new world government, the new mystery Babylon. And some people say, well, America wasn't written in prophecy or Bible prophecy. Now, obviously, you would think they would know where the name America probably would have been used anyway, because if it was, some people might have been like, well, we're going to try to mess up prophecy, we're just not going to call it America, right? But I don't know. Anyway, forget all that. The point is, some people think that America is not in last days prophecy because they feel that America won't exist in those days. Some people actually think that America is going to be destroyed by a nuclear holocaust, and that the reason that the American government is fumbling and scrambling in these different countries trying to keep them from getting their hands on nuclear weapons is because they know that when they do get their hands on nuclear weapons, they're going to aim it over here. So that's how some people's idea is. However the destruction goes, I think that it's going to come eventually. Whether it's because of racial tension, and there is racial tension in America, because America hadn't really done right by the Israelites in a lot of ways, but beyond that, I think that whether it's an economic collapse, whether it's due to racial tension, because that stuff goes hand in hand. They even had a study that shows when the economy is bad and when there's recession, there's a rise in racism. Because a lot of these crazy white folks with a redneck mentality, they're looking for somebody to blame. They're not going to blame the real culprits because they know they can't stand against them. They can't stand against the so-called Zionist bankers who get bailouts, or the millionaires on Wall Street or whatever who, do things and then the taxpayer has to pay the buck. No, they're going to try to turn their anger towards the so-called Negro who doesn't really have the political or economic capital nor the numbers, to really do that much damage to you. But that's people's mindset. They're going to blame a mere 12% of the population and say, well, you people on welfare, you're draining the system, and that's why the economy is bad. But I'm not even trying to get into the race talk right now. The point is, it's going to be chaos. Whether it's due to the economic collapse, whether it's due to racial tension, civil unrest, the destruction of the middle class, because classism plays a role in this too, the devaluation of the dollar. They say that they're trying to disrupt this stuff, and some people are like, well, why would Obama arm Muslim terrorists, and why is the Fast and the Furious happening? See, you have to understand, you have to look at the big picture. Some of these people that work in different governments, they may be working together behind the scenes. They may look like enemies, for you, but it's kind of like you're watching WrestleMania or something. They may be enemies on the stage, but behind the scenes, they may be having a good laugh. Because I think a lot of these Freemasonic orders, all around the globe, and they have a plan to bring in the age of Horus, the age of Saturn, and prepare for the arrival of the Masonic New Age Christ, who they're looking for, I guess. So share your thoughts and let me know what you think.